This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 11th day of September in the year 2019. Here is what we're tracking tonight. The Atlanta-based Carter Center is back in Guyana as there continues to be uncertainty about the definitive timeline for early elections. This morning, the four officials from the Carter Center met with the Attorney General, and this afternoon the team met with the chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission. After a 2-hour meeting with the Attorney General Basil Williams, the head of the Carter Center delegation, Brett Lacey, said they are here to be updated on the political situation in the country and to listen to the various stakeholders.
We were very happy to have this opportunity to hear from him on his perspective. And I can say from the Carter Center, we are really just here to listen. We are hoping to meet with different actors to understand everyone's perspective on current events here in Guyana.
At the press conference moments after the meeting, Attorney General Basil Williams said he was able to point out to the officials of the Carter Center the concerns about persons who may now be resident outside of Guyana still having their names on the voters list.
So the law is very clear. These things weren't argued before the Learned Chief Justice, of course, because as you know, they weren't asked or sought for by Mr. Christopher Ram lawyers, Mr. Ramparan or Mr. Nandalal. We only saw it in the written judgment. And this is the most important thing, that since we don't have overseas voting and the Learned Chief Justice's decision that you can't remove names from a list, we're going to come to that. But when you can't remove names from a list, you're actually saying that there's overseas voting. Because if you're saying people who have been registered prior and are abroad who are still eligible to vote, even though they didn't take part in the compilation of by house to house of a new register by being resident in a division in Guyana. So we have to show that from President Carter's intervention, overseas voting was outlawed.
Mr. Williams said the coalition government is prepared for elections, and the president has repeatedly stated that once the Elections Commission has indicated its readiness, he will name the date.
Well, they obviously are interested in elections, and they are obviously interested in credible elections also. And as I said to them, the government has nothing whatsoever to do with the conduct of elections or the conduct of registration. That's entirely the remit of GCOM. And as the president has repeatedly said, as soon as he wants all the elections, and as soon as GCOM indicates its readiness, he will announce a date.
Officials of the Carter Center were in Guyana back in March, and during their meetings then, they had proposed that a law be activated that would see overseas-based Guyanese being removed from the voters list. There was no agreement on that proposal as the court decisions and appeals changed the focus for the political parties and the Guyana Elections Commission. More news coming up in just a moment.
Hi Guyana, I am Ambika Ramraj, Miss World Guyana 2018 and your GTT Pinktober Ambassador for 2019. Pinktober is GTT's flagship event aimed at raising cancer awareness and facilitating access to support for all Guyanese. In 2017, we raised $4 million. In 2018, we nearly tripled that amount. Thus, we have been able to continue our fight against cancer by providing support to multiple foundations such as the Giving Hope Foundation and GRPA. This year, our aim is to do even more, but we need your help. Become a corporate sponsor for Pinktober 2019. Visit our website www.gtt.co.gy/Pinktober 2019 for more information on how. GTT is in the business of saving lives, so join us now.
Experience bliss in an exclusive atmosphere as Universe boss Chris Gale celebrates his 40th birthday in Guyana.
Batman out and stunting. Chris Gale Kyle tick like dumpling.
40 Shades of Gale featuring Kess the Band live and in concert.
If you're coming down from the mountain, oh God,
At the Arthur Chung Conference Center on Saturday, 5th October.
the savannah grass. Right now, make
tickets $3,000. General $4,000. Stage front $10,000. 40 Shades of Gale. Party with the Universe boss, Chris Gale, and a star-studded cast of international cricketers. 40 Shades of Gale. Featuring Kes the Band live and in concert at the Arthur Chung Conference Center on Saturday, 5th October.
All across our nation, Guyana, we see it in your lives. The future growing even stronger. GBTI, all eyes on Guyana skies as the voices of our people rise again. GBTI, Guyana's pride is in your eyes. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back, and turning to the world of business, the Massey company in Guyana today opened its mega store at the Movietown complex at Turkine on the east coast of Demerara. The new store dwarfs the first store, which was opened at Providence 3 years ago. The mega store will sell items in mostly mega sizes and will also showcase several departments, including household and pharmacy, as well as its signature supermarket. With 48 branches across the Caribbean, the new store at Turkine is only the second one of its kind in the region. At the official opening ceremony this morning, store manager LaShawna Prescott said the megastore will have something for everyone, as the company caters to every person from every background and circumstance.
Okay, we at Massey stores, we tread on the fact that we have something for everyone. So we cater to all ages, all lifestyles, all taste profiles, and most importantly, we aim to deliver quality and value. This is a very big store with a big vision to transform the Guyana shopping experience. Transformation is at the core of our chairman's consciousness.
And the Massey Guyana country manager David Alfonso said the opening of the new store represents the company's confidence in this country.
We have always strived to deliver the highest quality products, services, and experience to our customers. Today, our investment in Guyana continues with the opening of the second store here at Movietown. This store represents a deepening of our investment in this market. It is also evidence of our continued commitment to Guyana, and more so to the people of Guyana, who we proudly serve.
Over 100 persons have been hired for the new Massey megastore, and they have all been exposed to training in customer service and other related services. Finance Minister Winston Jordan welcomed the latest investments of the Massey company into the Guyana market. He said the Guyanese economy continues to grow and remains welcoming to investment as the country positions itself to become the jewel of the Caribbean crown.
From moderation to explosion, Guyana's economy is projected to grow by 33.5% in 2020 and 22.9% in 2021, prompting NASDAQ to label Guyana as the fastest growing economy in the entire world. The achievement of such dizzying growth rates will signal Guyana's emergence from the dark days of being the sick man of the Caribbean, perpetually racked by ethnic and political conflicts, to the jewel of the Caribbean crown. Guyana is poised to become the green Dubai of the Caribbean.
Minister Jordan said the Massey Group of companies must be credited and commended for its work in Guyana over the years.
I want to congratulate the Massey Group on the strategic location of the two Massey superstores in Guyana. The first one was established in Providence, East Bank, Demerara. That area is the site of many established businesses, including Qualfon and Textile University, and several housing schemes. The second is situated conveniently in Turkine, East Coast, Demerara, in this Movietown complex, in proximity to the two top educational institutions in Guyana, the University of Guyana and the Cyril Potter College of Education. It is in proximity to the top regional groupings headquarters, the CARICOM Secretariat. It is in proximity to the Eugene F. Correa International Airport, our second international airport in the country. Also, the immediate catchment area includes a number of schools, established and emerging businesses, and housing communities.
Minister Jordan said it is clear that the Massey company has been very strategic in the setting up of its stores along the east bank and east coast of Demerara, as the country prepares for an economic boom from next year. And the country, he said, has already started massive infrastructural works to cater for that boom. Turning now to the gaming industry, as Guyana's economy is evolving, the Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joe Harmon, is urging the Guyana Gaming Authority to fulfill its mandate and ensure that all gambling agencies are in full compliance with the laws of the country. This morning, Mr. Harmon delivered remarks at the stakeholders meeting of the Guyana Gaming Authority. The meeting focused on responsible gaming in Guyana.
Legislation to strengthen the authorities with the government and passage in the National Assembly should take place once that institution is operable. This is very important at this phase of our development. With our economy moving at the pace at which it is moving, I can only anticipate that there's going to be a tremendous pressure on the authority for licenses to open gaming establishments. What I've also seen is that there's a proliferation of these betting shops all across Guyana. And I trust that the Gaming Authority takes this responsibility of ensuring that these entities are properly regulated and that they operate within the confines of the laws of Guyana.
Minister Harmon said the Guyana Gaming Authority must carry out its mandate in keeping with its regulations and the laws of the country. He also said that apart from the Gaming Authority, the wider society must also play a role in ensuring that all are protected from the harms of the industry.
The Gaming Authority has a responsibility to ensure that the public and operators of gaming establishments are aware of not only the positive but also the negative impacts that gaming can have on an individual and in our society in general. This is necessary so as to assist owners in appreciating the need for systems and policies that will support responsible gaming and gambling.
Over the past few years, a number of gaming companies have opened up operations in Guyana, and there are others that are likely to come on board. The businesses would have to adhere to strict rules that govern the gambling industry, including the proper licensing of the operations. The Gaming Authority has found itself before the courts with at least one operator that it claims may not be properly licensed. Turning now to the aviation sector, following the announcement by low-cost carrier JetBlue of its intention to start full operations to Guyana from next April, the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority has welcomed the move by the company. The Civil Aviation Authority said it will work with JetBlue to ensure the airline complies with the regulatory requirements to bring its planned start-up date of April in 2020 to fruition. In a letter to the Director General of the GCAA, JetBlue has documented its intended route, proposed aircraft, frequency of flights, and the start-up date. The airline intends to begin service from the 2nd of April 2020. The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority will be meeting soon with JetBlue officials to conduct safety, security, and economic assessment of JetBlue's proposed operations in Guyana. The addition of JetBlue with other airlines operating in Guyana will benefit the traveling public from the increased airlift in and out of the country at competitive prices, the aviation body said. JetBlue intends to have daily flights between Georgetown and New York, but it begins its operations next April. Turning now to the courts, 26-year-old Orrin Ridley was today sentenced to 3 years in jail after being found guilty of 2 counts of robbery and the assault of a police officer. Ridley of Campbell Street, Old Boys Town, Georgetown, was on trial before City Magistrate Annette Singh. During the trial, the court was told that on the 31st of January at Albert Street, Old Boys Town, while being armed with a gun, the man robbed Sanela Ramlakan of a mobile phone and other items. On the same day, he robbed a relative of the same woman of his bicycle. The court was also told that during an attempt to arrest the man, he assaulted and injured a police officer. The court found him guilty of the offenses and sentenced him to a total of 3 years behind bars. He did not have much to say during the trial. And the carpenter who robbed a woman of a quantity of cash and other valuables will be spending the next 2 years behind bars after pleading guilty to the offense. Carpenter Julian Corlett appeared before Magistrate Faith McGusty today and opted not to waste the court's time. He admitted to the charge of robbery with violence. The court learned that on the 9th of September along Regent Street, he attacked and robbed Juliana Vernell of her handbag which contained her money and other valuables. In explaining his actions to the court, the man said he had been asked to purchase some items for his godchild, but had spent the money out on alcohol. He attacked the woman and robbed her in an effort to get some money. The woman raised an alarm and the robber was arrested by a group of private security guards who were in the area. He was handed over to the police and charged. Across the region is coming up next.
Securing the best healthcare facility for you and your family is important. At Balwant Singh Hospital, we take pride in giving you the best healthcare at unbeatable prices. We offer a 24-hour emergency care, a well-equipped ambulance, the best group of international doctors. Whatever your medical needs are, we are here to make sure you're taken care of like family. From eye care to dental service, the best, most experienced gynecologist, pediatric care, skin care, well-trained radiologist, and a trauma center. Our goal is to get you healthy so you can live a healthier life. Balwant Singh Hospital, caring for you and your family by offering healthcare at unbeatable prices. Live, love, and enjoy life. Call 226-4279 or visit us at 314 East Street, Georgetown. Balwant Singh, best healthcare at unbeatable prices.
Fuel it up and win! Let's divide! Fuel it up and win!
Yes! You heard right! Fuel up at Guy Oil $5,000 or more and enter to win! Tune in to Jumpstart on 94.1 FM Monday and Friday to receive your call to win big! Check Facebook for participating locations and more details.
Protect your fuel system, boy! High mileage and performance, boy! Fuel it up and win!
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Across the region right now, the Bahamas Emergency Services have listed 2,500 people as missing after Hurricane Dorian struck the islands of the Bahamas last week. The official count suggests the death toll will be much higher than the current 50, though the number of missing has yet to be checked against those in shelters and should fall. Tens of thousands of people remain in need of aid. Dorian equaled the highest winds ever recorded for a hurricane at landfall when it struck the Abaco Islands. Large areas were devastated on the Abacos and on Grand Bahama. The list was announced by Carl Smith as spokesman for the country's National Emergency Management Agency, but he expressed caution as the database was still being processed and some of the people already evacuated had yet to be registered in the specific areas. Aid and government officials said that about 5,000 people have already been evacuated from the two islands that were hardest hit. In Trinidad and Tobago, an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.4 rattled the country on Tuesday night, the second quake to have rocked the island within a 24-hour period. The Seismic Research Center at the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies said the quake occurred around 9:31 last evening and was located at a latitude of 10.75 north and a longitude of 62.06 west and a depth of 35 kilometers. The center said the quake was felt 61 kilometers west of the capital of Port of Spain, 86 kilometers northwest of the southern tongue of San Fernando, and 87 kilometers west of Arima. As in the previous occasion on Monday, where the island and two other Caribbean countries were rattled by a 4.2 magnitude earthquake, there were no immediate reports of any injuries or any major damage. And finally tonight, international news. The British Prime Minister's suspension of the UK Parliament is unlawful, Scotland's higher civil court has ruled. A panel of 3 judges at the Court of Session found in favor of a cross-party group of politicians who were challenging the Prime Minister's move. The judges said the Prime Minister was attempting to prevent Parliament holding the government to account ahead of Brexit. A UK government appeal against the ruling will be heard by the Supreme Court in London next week. The Court of Session's decision overturns an earlier ruling from the court which said last week that Mr. Johnson had not broken the law. The current 5-week suspension of Parliament, a process known as proroguing, started in the early hours of yesterday. Members of Parliament are not scheduled to return to Parliament until the 14th of October, when there will be a Queen's speech outlining Mr. Johnson's legislative plans. The United Kingdom is due to leave the European Union on the 31st of October. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.